Okay, so thank you everybody for joining. And this is a celebration, this meeting. It's a celebration of something incredible that's happened, which is, as you all know, we managed to raise enough money to build the art gallery in Kakuma Refugee Camp. And for the first part of the agenda, I'm just going to speak a little bit about sort of the background and where we've got to and where we've got to now before I pass over to Hubert, who's going to be sharing stuff from the camp. But I hope you don't mind, but I've written it down because there's so much with this project. As all of you know who've spoken to me about it and who've been involved in the project right from the start, my head is like probably this full with trying to kind of think about it and talk about it. There's so much to say, and we've come so far. And because time is short on here, especially getting everybody in, I don't want to end up over speaking on it, as is my want, because it's something that I'm really passionate about. But also, I'm a bit concerned I might get a little bit emotional because getting the video, which I'm going to reveal to you later on today, which is showing the camp and the gallery that you've all been involved with and contributed to, has been quite an emotional thing. In fact, I've been quite emotional for a couple of weeks about it. So I'm hoping I'm not going to cry because when I talked through what I was going to say in the garden, I had a little weep. So hopefully the weep is out of the way and I'll be able to just talk a little bit more clearly about it. Hi, Sash. So,
Can
um,
can you see me?
no, I can't
No,
see you,
I'm
but
having
don't,
trouble with my camera.
okay, don't worry, darling. Just keep it just like that. That's fine.
Okay.
Um, okay, so the beginning of it all, we had I painted boat, and I had this idea in my studio that this boat might be able to raise some money for a charity. I got in contact with Hubert because we'd been in contact about 6 months before on LinkedIn. And we had a chat and we immediately connected. Hubert connected with Boat and the story of Boat, which you'll see later in the film. And initially, we just thought, why not do a few art workshops within the camp? And we were going to raise a little bit of money to get some paint and some canvases into the camp. And that was done by our champion supporters, which some of you are here, which are the first 10 people who bought a signed copy of the print boat. And that's what happened is we just started. Hubert and I started from the seed of an idea. At the beginning, it was just us. And we said, this is just us. And how on earth are we going to do this? But as with all things that have a sort of passionate vision behind them, it seemed to have a life of its own and it seemed to grow and it has grown exponentially. It has been absolutely amazing what has happened and the speed of things that have happened. So after that, we did the Artathon event, and I know a lot of people on here are here because you were involved in that, and maybe you're friends of people who were involved in that, and you donated to sponsor them. And the Artathon event was Sash, can you turn up? Oh, I'll mute you. There you go. Um, the Artathon event was 10 hours of painting, artists painting, and we had a writer writing, and we had various other things happening. And people sponsored the people to do the 10 hours, and we had some workshops, and you're going to see that in the film that I'm going to share in a bit. So now I'm going to go to reading and just talk a little bit about it. So the build wouldn't have been possible without people donating and supporting the vision. And Hubert's and my favorite saying, in fact, we said it yesterday, is we did it. We did it. And we started out, him and I, in January 24 with just the seed of this little idea. And up to date, we've now run two full day workshops. We've got art materials and resources into the camp from Nairobi, which was no mean feat. It was a 2 day lorry trip to get the art materials there, and I was very concerned that they weren't going to make it. But Olivia, who's on the call today, he is our art resources collector, and he gathered everything from the shops and made sure it was safely put on the back of a lorry with our two trusty lorry drivers, which was amazing. And then we've provided work for people in the camps. Hubert's team and his second in command, Charles, on the workshop days, we give them something. We have to pay for our cook, Vivian, who makes a wonderful meal for all of the artists. We've had a carpenter who's made beautiful tables for the workshop. Scanners in the Kakuma camp who scan our artwork after the workshop. And then we've got the builders who work so hard in the intense heat to build the first ever art gallery for the community in the camp. So the Senga Gallery, Senga means ask or pray. And it's named after Hubert Senga, who is here today, my co-founder in this project, and have to say, an incredible person who has become a friend over the year and a half that we've been working together. And Hubert, I hope you don't mind me saying, but after his own traumatic story, he works tirelessly to support refugees with his charity, which, as you all know, is Generation Aid, which is a non-profit refugee-led charity that provides digital education to equip refugees with skills to work and create a better life. So it started Generation Aid with an idea in Hubert's head during lockdown, and now he's an advocate for refugees, and he's speaking on the world news. And the art project we were talking about yesterday has really helped him to understand even more deeply the stories and the needs of other refugees within the camp. So he's been winning hearts and minds, and now with the gallery and a digital hub that they've had, another building that they got a grant for, they now have two buildings of dignity within his education center in Kakuma camp. And on this side, I've received such overwhelming love and support on my journey to achieve this mission. I'm sorry, I'm just letting people in as we go. The donations that people have made, the emotional support and the enthusiasm from my friends and my family has been incredible, even when I've perhaps been wanging on about it, like every time I meet them. It's just been amazing that everyone has just joined me on this, and that feeling of people joining when you're starting something or you're in the middle of something or you're beginning something is huge. I can't tell you what it meant, and it really has kept me going on this project. So the workshops that we've been doing, we've been working with the refugees, and the art that they have been producing has been, some of it, incredible, and the stories behind the artwork are even more incredible. And we've been really honoured that we've been supported by the Vanna Gallery in Salisbury. David Christie has supported us, and we're going to be doing a exhibition of the refugee work, the Kakuma artists, as I'm now calling them. I've been calling them refugee artists, and then today I just thought, oh, hang on a minute, they're the Kakuma artists, and that's the new name for them. And it's been amazing for us as well, because we've had Alistair Barford, who's on the call today as well, who's a fantastic portrait artist, working with some of our refugee artists. He's been painting a few of them, and they will also be his paintings of them in the exhibition in September in Salisbury at the Vanna Gallery. So that's been absolutely amazing. So I think I've said everything that I wanted to say. Our next workshop we're holding for the artists in a couple of weeks. We're going to do a big one with 14 artists. And the art from that workshop will be included in the exhibition. And I think that workshop and the paintings that are going to come from that workshop are going to be particularly poignant, as it will represent their experience of camp at the moment, which is quite difficult with the withdrawal of humanitarian aid from the US. So a lot of them are struggling with lack of food and clean water and medical aid. But we'll talk a little bit about that later on when we talk about what we're doing next steps. So I'd like to pass over to Hubert now to share a little bit about what it's been like your end, because it was built in 9 days, wasn't it, Hubert? The gallery. So once all the money had been collected up from Just Giving, oh, I forgot to say, we raised £6,440 from the Just Giving Artathon, which was absolutely incredible. And we had a little bit of, yeah, let's have a clap. We had a little bit of just getting it into the bank accounts and making sure it got safely there and all of that sort of thing. And then the builders were ready to go. So I'm going to pass over to you, Hubert, to share a little bit more from your side what's been going on.
Thank you so much, Tara, and everybody for joining. And I'm really excited, and not just excited, but I'm really moved to see all of these faces in front of my screen. I mean, it's really encouraging me toward what we're actually trying to accomplish in the back end. And again, sorry, in the background, my daughter, she's trying to cry. And maybe I don't know what she needs, but I will apologize on that. Yes, let me start by saying that to recognize first the great contribution of each and everyone here, including, I mean, starting with Tara for coming with the idea of which from the starting point, for me, it did not had any, I mean, I did not had any vision with it. I mean, it hadn't, this project had no form at the beginning. And I couldn't really realize how this idea can actually make sense, because the idea itself, it came from, I mean, it came through my own personal story. And then after that, I realized that if this has, I mean, this actually relates to my personal story, and it, the painting itself, which Tara made, I mean, it had some kind of healing inside. And I realized that if this, if my story and what Tara has just painted, and again, not just painted, but through what she was trying to explain to me, it resonated deeply with the people that I've known within Kakuma. And again, it resonated with me even beyond from Kakuma, looking at how how I got healed through my experience. And I foolishly thought that maybe it's gonna heal somebody else, let's say in UK, or let's say, just at the global scale. So just like Tara said, the idea started very crazy, I can say that. But as more as we started having more, conversation, we had a lot of meetings along the road, trying to figure out what can we do together? What can we do kind of a healing to the refugee community? And the more we had more meetings, spending sometimes 2 hours, Tara is aware of that, 2 hours, 1 hour. And it is the more that the idea itself of supporting the refugees from this end came to its, I can say, came to its, to its targeted image. And without losing or wasting a lot of time, I would like actually to say that thanks. I would like to extend my gratitude to Tara Dominick for making it happen first with a very small paint, and then when we actually understood that no, this can happen. And again, we looked at the artists within the Kakuma refugee itself. Many of the artists that I know and that I knew, I mean, they were just doing the art within the community, but they did not had any place whereby, artists can meet and share ideas and brainstorm and just do something, not just for doing, but reflect deeper within themselves. And with that being said, Tara and I realized that we needed to have a workshop trying to mobilize these artists, not just to mobilize them, not just to have them sitting down, but let them give us story or tell their stories I mean, about how they have gone through their life stories and how they have overcome, just any story behind it. As long as we actually organize the first cohort or the first workshop, for me, actually, I did not had any idea of how it's going to really look like and what it's going to really impact myself. But through the results of our first workshop, I mean, I was just calmed. I mean, I can say my heart was just silenced because I couldn't really realize the result that came around was actually was something that I was not even expecting. And what was that? Me being an entrepreneur, a social entrepreneur, and also an advocate or refugee of advocate, I mean, I'm not everywhere. I'm not immobile. I'm not everywhere. I cannot move, along the Kakuma refugee camp and know who is going white and what is doing. I mean, who went through what. But through the first workshop, I came to realize that there are so many stories that myself, me personally, as a social entrepreneur, I needed to jump in. There's so many stories that related to the discrimination, to the women discrimination. There were stories related to various topics. And for me, that was kind of a calling, telling me that, look, Hubert, you have a lot to do. I know that I don't have resources. I don't know where to get started. But for me, it was kind of a lesson to learn that there's so, I mean, there's so much need within the community. There is a lot that I can try to find solutions, in order to fix those problems, though that I cannot fix them by my own. And for me, this program, since it actually started, it has been a healing. And again, it has been a hope for a brighter future, not just for me, but also for the artists, which of course they've been really forgotten from the community, from the international community itself, and even within the local community. And meeting Tara, it is kind of a blessing whereby these artists are now looking at a way forward from not being forgotten, but from to now being heard and being known to at the global scale. Many of the artists, they were not even known from the people within UK. Now I have the artist Tara. I have some of you who have already known few of our artists, and that is what I've been trying to do, is to make sure that refugees, I'm not using the word of refugee, but I'm just trying to say that I want to see the people that are within this forgotten community to be heard, to be known somewhere, that they exist. The global community, they seem to be forgetting this community, forgetting if refugees lives, and majority of the people, they don't know how refugee survives, how refugees thrive within the community. And for one of our artist Daniel has been doing the paintings for so long time. He's a very young boy. I think he's about in his 19 years. Has been drawing for quite several years, and I could just see him in the community drawing and doing paintings, and without anything. I mean, using just a pencil and using just a normal pen. And one day he came to me and it was like, look, Hubert, I know that you're leading Generation 8, and I know that you're doing a lot for us here in Kakuma. And I would really want one day to find anyone who might be really willing to uplift my skills, and not just mine, because I have also folks or my friends. If we can have someone who can hear us through our stories, and I think that will be a really great success for us, because we have been really forgotten. You guys have been focusing on the digital side, on an education and different other sectors. But what about we artists? And I was like, okay, one day I think we'll get one. I don't know, but let's just try. And after a few months, that's how I came to meet Tara. And within just coming this year, when we were developing the program itself, we had no idea of how we can actually have a gallery, because one of the biggest aim was to get a gallery whereby these people or these artists will be meeting and do the paintings, and not just for painting, but to express their stories. This is kind of a platform. Now I have people in UK that know that there is a gallery in Kakuma, and let me tell you, this is a first ever gallery in Kakuma. And I'm even surprised that few of I happened to talk to one of the UNHCR, one of the UN staff in Kakuma, who was like, Hubert, you've done something that nobody has ever thought about. And this is something that are everywhere within the world, but in this area has never been there. And you are the only one, the only person to come up with. So I said to Daniel that one day we'll have a gallery. One day we'll have a place whereby artists will be gathered. We'll be doing an amazing job. I don't know when, but I believe we'll get that happen. And we got Tara joining in. After Tara joining in, Tara was trying to use her mind over and over, talking to Sophie, talking to her close family. So I could see that just the generosity of the British people, let me call that British people, just popping up from an idea which has no sense, but a few times I could see it having a sense. And this year, starting in January, I think that's the when we actually, I think that's when we started launching our first fundraising. I say to Tara, I don't know how we're gonna make it. Tara, she was like, I don't know how we're gonna make it. I mean, let's just try. Maybe we can have a platform for the artists. And suddenly she was invited to one of the local radio platform within her region. And I don't know if it is just coming from there, I don't know, but suddenly people were just popping up. I was looking at the fundraising platform. We actually started with the 10, something 5, then it went to 5. Just within a day, within a night, because it was my night, it was night on my side, I could see 1,000 after few hours. I mean, 2,000, and I was like, is this coming true? I mean, I can't believe this happening. And I would just briefly, I would like just to summarize that I deeply now recognize the generosity of British people, especially you who are here, who have been supporting this program. I mean, you have been spending a lot of money that you should have been using it for your own purposes, but you donated that to the people that you never even met. You just meet Hubert online. You just heard about Hubert, and suddenly you are just touched by the program itself. I'm deeply from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for making it happen. And again, I'm bringing this back to Tara, saying that thank you for thinking of the Senga Gallery. I mean, I was not even thinking that the gallery should be known as the Senga Gallery. For me, it when I look at the gallery itself, though that the artists have not yet utilized it, but when I look at the Senga Gallery and just the name itself and how it's gonna be known, widely known along, not just in Ikakuma, all over, I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at it as a hope, not just for me, but for many refugees around. Because I believe that through this art project, I mean, it's gonna bring a lot of hope for many refugees, not just into art, but in different sectors. Please take my thank you. Take my take my I mean, I don't know what I can express that, but take my huge gratitude. I'm so excited to have this community joining me in this middle of crisis, joining somebody from Kakuma who doesn't know even how to talk, but even how to make a speech, but just thank you for making it happen. We couldn't really make it happen without your support, without your pockets, and without your ideas. We couldn't really make it happen. You guys made a lot of advice. I and Tara, we really tried our best to follow up. And thank you so much. And I'm really looking forward to what we're gonna again achieve together in the next coming activities or in the next coming ways that anything can happen in the middle. So just welcome again and be part of us. This program, I mean, after donating the money or after joining this program, please don't leave us. We need your strategic advice on how we can get more people involved. We can get artists because we still need you shortly. We still need you along the road. So back to Tara.
Thanks, Hubert. I did get a bit emotional then. Okay, so I'm going to share a little video which will show what's happening, what happened on our side. Hubert hasn't seen this, all of the work that people put in for the Artathon to raise the money, and then it will show the building of the Senga Gallery and yeah, how beautiful it has turned out to be.
This is the team, the constructors team. These are the people that have done the job, and we are really proud of them. They have done a really great job. Yeah.
Welcome to the Senga Gallery, funded by the UK people or the UK friends of mine and our donors. We are so grateful, and to take you through the Senga Gallery itself, which your money managed to build it. I'm gonna take a little tour with you outside so that you can see how you have impacted this community. This is the gallery, the Senga Gallery. This is the front side. It looks very beautiful, and of course you can have a little look at the other side of the gallery. That is the community. That is the community. Yes, we have our windows with glass. It's just next to the Generation Jobs building. So beautiful. Now let's
go deep inside the gallery itself. A path. This one will allow people living with disability to go through or to pass through without any trouble. Let's open our door. Yes, this is the gallery. Tables for the artists to be sitting during the art workshops.
Beautiful, beautiful. It's amazing, isn't it?
Wow, wonderful.
This is amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
Well done, everyone.
Well done, well done.
Thank you.
Oh, your baby's there.
Yes, Hubert, do you want to say hello with Abigail?
Yes.
Oh.
Abigail, can you say hello? Say hello.
Hello, Abigail.
Hello, Abigail.
Hello,
Abigail.
Cannot speak yet. It's
Yeah,
just
sorry,
one
Hubert, you
one
need to
year.
speak. You need to speak so that we can see you. We all spoke and then,
I'm speaking on behalf of her.
yeah.
Oh.
Hubert, could you just share, first of all, just what that was like for you seeing what happened this end? Because you didn't really know you knew some of the craziness, but not really the amount of people that were involved and the art that was produced and stuff.
Yeah, I just remembered that before we play the video, I need really to recognize that, especially for the artists that did the Artathon. You for spending your time, you spent your time for I think it was 12 hours. And I mean, I really recognize that, and I'm really grateful for that because it is true. Your time, your time that you spent. I mean, it has of course managed to have the gallery, the Senga Gallery, which you have just seen seconds past. And I'm really grateful for for your generosity and also for donating your. She's like I. And again for donating your time and thank you so much. And we are really looking forward to the next. Yeah,
The next stage. Okay, well,
exactly.
I'm going to move on to that now, and then if we've got a little bit of time at the end, we can just have a few people just saying a few thoughts. That would be great. I just wanted to just move on because this is about the celebration of that, but also whilst Artathon was going on, this humanitarian crisis was unfolding within the camp. With the withdrawal of US aid and the World Food Programme, a lot of the food that people were getting, which wasn't very much in the first place, was getting lesser and lesser, and it's now very uncertain whether they're going to have that for the next month. And also, water had become incredibly scarce, and there were protests. And I was privy through Hubert to seeing some footage of that, which was, really upsetting. And I felt that I needed, as well as, the project, which is educational, which is a huge part of aid as well. So it's a really important part. And we were also giving work to the builders as well, which was amazing for them because they then had money to feed their families and stuff during that period. But I felt that there needed to be something else that we could do and that art could do. So, I came up with this idea for an artist grid, and artists would submit a painting, and each painting would be £27, and that would pay for a food pack for a family of maize, pulses and oil, and soap, and I've forgotten something else as well. But these food packs would go with the gallery. And I thought of one gallery, and then I came up with some more galleries. So we now have an art grid of 100 squares to fill. We've filled quite a few of them. We've got a photography grid. We've got I wrote this down so that I can remember it. No, I can't find that. We've got a photography grid. We've got a performance poetry grid, which is amazing. Artists speaking poetry. We've got a music grid. We've got a tattoo artist grid. We've got a kids art grid, and we've also got pets. The pets are doing particularly well on the grid. We have lots of lovely pet portraits and stories behind the pets, and I love it that the animals are there really supporting the families in Kakuma, which is amazing. So already with that, we've raised £817, and we're going to be feeding our first 27 families on Friday, the 30th of May. Generation Aid will be getting the food packs together and distributing them to families in need within the camp. Artline is just beautiful to go and have a look at and see the pictures, the fantastic work of artists, photographers, and children, everything. So I'm hoping that once the grids are full, people will enjoy going and viewing them and will just donate, as you would if you were going to a gallery. The other thing is that the artists, we put their details below, and they can put a percentage of any sales back into the project. We've already sold one painting, and we have 30% from that painting, which is another 2 families. So the grids, although they do 100 families, they could also do more than 100 families. I put the link in the chat. I'd love you to go and have a look. I've also put the Just Giving in the chat as well if you just would like to donate again. And if you'd like to submit, if you've got a lovely photograph or a pet that you'd like to have up there, an art piece, anything like that, just get in contact with me through the Kakuma Art Project website, and that's kakumaartproject.com. I'd like to thank Harry, my nephew, who made it for free for us, and he was just amazing because I kept coming back and saying, "Can we have another grid? Could we do another gallery? Would it be possible?" And he very kindly gave of his time and his expertise and has made a wonderful site for us. So Hubert, do you want to just say what it's like for families just at the moment and where you're at there, because you can tell it a lot better than I can.
Yes, I can talk a little bit about it, especially current situation, just like you have heard from Tara saying, and I think you have also heard from the global scale. Since the USAID was actually removed by the United States government, the USAID has been a beacon of hope for many refugees, not just in Kakuma, but all over around the world, when it comes to the food distribution or water supply, medical side, and many other areas. So USAID has been a huge contributor, has been a huge sponsor for all of these services to the refugees. And when the USAID was actually removed, and it was a really sudden message, which no one was actually expecting within the Kakuma refugee camp, not just here, but I can say globally. And when this actually happened, we actually saw many negative actions which actually started to impact the community itself. First of all, it started with the water supply, whereby in the wool Kakuma there was a huge issue with the water supply. the NGO or the organization that does supply the water. They could not really supply water to the communities because they did not had fuel, to dig the water from the ground, and also pipes were actually broken and they had no funding to fix that. And with lack of water, that led to many people led to many diseases, or to the spread of many diseases within the camp. This affected the women, children, and I had a time to witness one woman who was having three children, and she's a single mother, and she told me that, look, Hubert, I've already spent 3 weeks without taking shower, and my children as well. So that was the first effect, and we thought that was only something that we thought that the USAID could have actually come or other NGO actors, they could actually come up and try to fix. Fortunately, some of them came up, and we did not expect if the effects, the USAID effects could go beyond water supply. So food shortages happened again in the camp. We have been actually relying on the food distribution from the World Food Program in the partnership with World Vision. They have been distributing food, 3 kg. Before it was about 2 kg, 2 kg, 1 kg of rice, and also beans, and also I think one liter of cooking oil for one person to spend that in a month, or for a full month, or for 30 days. That was really crazy looking at that one kg or 2 kg of rice and beans. Nobody can spend that for 30 days. One liter of oil, nobody can use that for 30 days and still survive. And again, when the USAID funding went, things became much more worse than expected. So the food went down, and it happened a time that we were told that we will not actually have food because the store were kind of running out of stock, and there were no funding, and no funding to supply more food. Again, last month was the only month with which we were expecting to no longer have, food. The 3 kg of rice and also one or two liters of oil. Fortunately, for some reasons, we saw some other NGOs that were actually trying to come up with their supports, and that was during the Ramadan, the Ramadan, the Islamic events. So some of the Islamic organizations tried to support the World Food Program. And again, this month we don't actually expect really expecting food distribution this month, because we had that currently there's the WWF, the World Food Program, is running out of stock right now. And we saw that again last month, that Gaza right now is running out of food. So we are looking at us to be the next to be running out of the the World Food Program to run out of food. And when running out of the food, then that is I can say that is a silence genocide within here, because the Kakuma itself, it's a semi-arid area. It's really hard to do agricultural activities, and it's in a semi-desert area, and most of the agricultural ingredients doesn't survive here, and the only way that refugees that survives, it's only by trying to work with the local NGOs around, which of course they're trying to pay refugees about $50 working day and night for 30 days, and they pay them $50 per month, and does not even fit the needs of every single refugee in the camp. And the other way is by we refugees coming up with initiatives such as the one of Generation Aid, trying to connect with, connecting refugees to the global scale, or to the small business owners or large business owners or medium all across the world, so that they can get employed from there in different sectors. So those are the two areas that refugees, not that the two, but the third one is by also refugees are also trying to come up with, running their own small business around within the community, such as doing sewing business within the community. Others are trying to sell their clothes. Those are the few ways that refugees are actually trying to survive. And again, it's going outside of the camp. It is not advised to the refugees, because once the governments, catches any of the refugee outside of the camp without the consent of the UNHCR and also the governments, then the refugee, any refugee is gonna be in trouble. They're gonna improve.
Okay, Hubert's frozen for a moment, and that sometimes happens within the camp. So the other thing that we also wanted to mention, you can see how Artline is really going to be very important. If we filled all grids, we could get food for over 800 families, which would be absolutely amazing, but it's going to take some time to do that. But to start with, the first 27 we are going to be doing in a couple of weeks, which is amazing, and will make a difference to those families, maybe help get them through that next month at least. But Hubert also wanted to mention about volunteering opportunity. They're looking for English people who speak English or teach English. You don't have to be a teacher, you don't have to be trained, but to come and help with some of the English programs remotely online. If you're interested in that, please either get in contact with me, or you can contact Hubert on LinkedIn, and he'll tell you more about it. So I just want to get back to the sort of celebratory mode for a moment, and I just wondered if anyone it's 7 o'clock. I was going to say, would anyone like to say anything? Would anyone like to say anything?
I'd like to say, Tara, that you're an absolute inspiration. It's been lovely hearing Hubert speak and seeing the video and how you've put it all together. I am just in awe. I feel emotional. I'm so happy to be part of it. I think the grids are looking great, and I think it will grow and grow. And kudos to you. Hats off, my love.
Thank you, and thank you so much for your amazing support, Patricia. She's been absolutely incredible in so many ways, and we've got some exciting stuff that we'll talk about another time, possibly with the poetry and getting more poets involved in the project as well, through Patricia, who's an absolute powerhouse for that kind of thing. And she's going to be at the Salisbury evening of our first evening of the exhibition, the launch. Patricia's going to be reading her poem, which she wrote on the Artathon, which is it was inspired by the artist's paintings from the workshops, which is going to be amazing. So I can't wait for that. Got time maybe just for one more. Anyone else like to say anything? Joseph, I'm just going to unmute you, Joseph. Joseph, did you want to say something?
Yes, just very quickly. I've had a double whammy of inspiration, because last Saturday I joined the march in London for freeing Palestine, ending genocide, and so on. And these are some of the things that Hubert touched on today after the aid was stopped and so on. And yes, as somebody just said, it's there is hope. And I think when people like yourself and Hubert exist, there is always hope. And it's just fantastic. It's beautiful, I think.
Thank you, Joseph. Joseph has been with us right from the start. He was at the first launch at the Senga Gallery when I talked about the project. Sophie, would you like to just finish and say something? Because you've been involved strategically, you and Sam, helping and supporting me. And this is my younger sister and her husband, Sam. Would you like to just say something to finish?
Yeah, just as always, anytime we talk about it, particularly any time we've had any calls with Hubert, it's always so uplifting. And I think that just that ability that you both have to, through the difficulties that Hubert and the rest of Kakuma are facing, to still be able to hold on to hope, and it's just always blows me away how powerful that is in terms of what it can achieve. And I think the physical, to see that the build and the physicality of the building, it's something so concrete, literally, as a sort of testament to that, that it's just fantastic to see. And I'm very proud of you, proud of my big sister.
Thank you. And thank you so much. I just also like to say, the power of friends sharing has been huge. Louise Fuller, I had a little conversation with her and Giselle, and both of them have just come up trumps with pet photos for the pet grid and talking to friends about it. Patricia Ahern has been telling everyone she knows about all of the grids. It's the power of people sharing. That's what has grown this project from that beginning when it was just me and Hubert. And every time that happens, it's so uplifting to me, because there are times when I think, oh gosh, what have I started? Why didn't I just do one grid? Now I've got 8 grids. But I just I've had the capacity in my mind to think big, and because of that, we were able to, and through some incredibly generous donations, we were able to build that gallery, which is just so beautiful and such a legacy. And I just want to say thank you to everyone, all my friends, everyone who's involved, for your love and support.
I'm sure if I'm on.
You are on, darling. I can see you.
Oh, good. Well, I want to say as well, I'm so proud of you as well, my big sister, another sister.
Thank you. So I've got four, there's 4 of us.
Very, very, so emotional. And the whole word, just hearing hope, hope, hope and positivity. And it's just inspiring and beautiful, and just couldn't be prouder of you and Hubert at all. It's just amazing, stunning, really, in this time. So thank you.
Thanks,
for all of it. As selfishly, we're all kind of getting the joy and hope from it as well. So it's spreading it.
Thank you. And Hubert, I'm glad to see you're back. I was chatting away and didn't realize you were back on the scene. Olivia, also want to say big thank you to you. Olivia's literally, he was the guy that got all the paints and all the canvases and all the brushes, went shopping in Nairobi with WhatsApp and me on the other end, and put it all on the back of a lorry and a massive TV, and got the first workshop started. He also got our second round of art materials into the camp. And I'm hoping, Olivia, that you'll be with us. I know you're doing your own incredible work and stuff in your own life as well, but having your support as our Kakuma King shopper is just amazing.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, sure.
Olivia was the first person to wear a Kakuma art t-shirt.
Yeah, sure. I would one.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to take a picture. I don't know if I've got everybody on. I'm going to take a picture of this one anyway. So if everyone could just wave, that would be brilliant, and smile. Thank you. And then I'm just going to see if I hope I haven't missed anyone. Still got 28, and I've only got, I don't know how to move you on.
To page 2, Tara, if you click on your triangle on the side of the page, you see there's a whole another page of faces. I'll do it, Tara. I'll do a screenshot of it.
Oh yes, if someone else could. So if page 2 could all smile.
I don't think people know which page they're on, but
if we all smile again.
We just smile all the time.
Yeah, sure. That's nature.
Sí, sí es.
Okay, I've taken a picture of that, Tara. I don't know if your page is the same as mine.
That's brilliant. All I can say for everyone who's been involved as well, you know, I know you've all got so much from it. Everyone who's been involved in it has got a lot from it as well. Hubert and Olivia and people in the camp, you know, you've given us so much. It's been a complete light in my life. And everyone keeps saying, well, you know, it's a big thing that you're doing, and but it's so giving. It just gives back to be working with you guys. We've already got someone who, but my friend Wendy, who's interested in doing some volunteering, speaking English. She's an absolutely incredible teacher, so I'll definitely put you two in touch. So that's amazing. I think we'd better say goodbye, but I also just want to say Beth Atkins, my niece there, she's a brilliant singer. She's the first song on the music grid, and her music is absolutely beautiful. And we've got some other musicians on there as well, and they're coming in now. We've got a few people on. The poets are coming in, the musicians are coming in, and the pets are really doing it for Kakuma. So please take a look at the website kakumaartproject.com. And thank you so much, everybody. And Hubert, do you want to say the last word? Sorry, we've gone over.
Yeah, thanks so much. Yeah, Tara. Yeah, I'm sorry that my internet it got a little bit stuck, but however, I'm back again. Yeah, I would like to say thank you so much to everyone who was actually make this initiative happen. And I'm really grateful again for the support that you have actually already shown to the outline. And I'm really looking forward to any supports that we can have from your back end. And that's really means a lot to us during this crisis on our side. And again, just like Tara has already said, yeah, we are actually running one of our English programs. We would really want want anyone who would want actually to volunteer their time, maybe 1 hour, whatever, to train the people, the refugees that are actually eager to learn English. And feel free to reach out to me. And again, thank you to Charles as well for inviting Andrew. And Andrew, hi. And I'm really looking forward to connect with you as soon as possible, especially after just our call. I will hit you an email. And anyone who is willing to volunteer, please, the door is open. Generation Aid is open, and we can't wait to see you still supporting us as we're moving forward. So thank you so much, everyone, and I'm looking forward to the next step.
I've got one last thing to say. Hubert, you've got 4 friends of mine who are willing to help with the volunteering English already. So that's great. And also I've noticed that Claude, our lead builder, is actually has been on the call or was on the call. I don't know if Claude is there. Are you there, Claude? He left a message. Anyway, I'm so glad that he made it, and yeah, Claude led the team of builders to actually build the Senga Gallery. And on that note, I will stop speaking and say thank you very much, everybody, and goodbye. Much love.